up, guys? In this video I'm going to show you how I poured this small cement pad here that's going to serve as a landing spot for some stairs off of this deck. Okay, let me show you how I did it. So the first thing I needed to do was get some sort of a form made for pouring the cement. I just built my form for my pad out of some 2x4s that I joined together with screws. Now, I wanted my slab to be about 5 feet wide by 4 feet deep, so when I constructed my form, I just made sure to make my inside measurements that 5 foot by 4 foot measurement that I was looking for. With my form constructed, I was able to lay that out in the yard to give me an idea of where the concrete slab needed to be. I just used some stair stringers to help me get everything aligned as best as I could. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect right now, this is just to give me an idea of where to start digging the hole. Once I had it laid out roughly where I wanted it, I poorly attempted to mark it with some spray paint, and then we got to digging. Now, I'm not sure when the last time you spent a solid couple of hours digging a hole was, but if it's been a while, well, let me fill you in on a little secret. It's a workout. Now, you could definitely tackle this step on your own, but it'll go much quicker if you just get some people to help you. With that said, I'd like to take this opportunity to give a big thanks to my husband Phil and our friend Matt for stepping in to help with this very labor-intensive step. I might still be digging otherwise. The goal was to dig down about 8 to 10 inches, but I gotta tell you that once you start digging, it's kind of hard to tell exactly how far you've dug down. This clay type of soil is a major pain to dig, especially because it all starts to clump together, and I feel like it just made it really difficult to gauge how far down we were exactly. So we just kept digging and digging until finally I started to feel a bit like,
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
Well, excuse me.
So we kept on digging a little more until finally we had dug a very impressive hole that was incredibly too deep. Now, I can tell you that it's incredibly deflating to have to shovel dirt back into a hole that you just worked so hard to remove. So I figured what I would try first is to add a little more gravel to my hole than I originally planned, and maybe that would get us to the height we needed. Now, I had always planned on adding some gravel underneath my form because it's my understanding that if you live somewhere that has this clay type of soil, then it's a good idea to add a couple inches of gravel underneath your cement pad to help with water drainage. After adding a good bit of gravel, I decided that I was in fact going to have to add some dirt back to my hole and get my form to the proper height. Once we felt like we had the right amount of soil and gravel in the hole, then we tamped everything down with a tamper to give us a solid base. Then we set our form in the hole and worked on getting it lined up. I just used my stair stringers as a guide and took some measurements off the deck to make sure things were looking even. Once I felt good about its alignment, I drove some wooden stakes into the ground around my form. Now, I'll use these stakes to help hold the form in place while we work on getting it level. To get my form level from left to right, we just placed a level on the form and raised it up until it was completely level. Then I drove some screws in through the stakes into the form to help hold it in place. I just repeated this step for each of my stakes until I was satisfied. Now, I did create a bit of a slope on the form from front to back just to help water drain off the slab. Alright guys, I am exhausted. I had originally planned to do all of this in one day, pour the cement, set the form, dig the hole. But this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and I've only got a few hours of daylight left now, and like I said, I am just pure exhausted, so I'm gonna save the rest for tomorrow. But I did get my form set up, I've got it staked in place, and I've got it level and how I'm gonna need it, so that way tomorrow I can just get right to mixing the cement and pouring that. But I'm really happy with how this form turned out. Then tomorrow we pour some cement. Alright, so I'm going to circle back to the hole. This is the type of project where it helps to have friends thing, or in my case, a husband who agrees to spend our anniversary toting 50-pound bags of cement to and fro. Thanks again, hon. Now, there are a couple different ways that you can figure out exactly how much concrete you need for your pour. If you really want to prove that you're good at math, then you could just calculate the cubic feet of your form opening and then figure out how many cubic feet each bag of concrete will yield you. That's one way to do it, but listen, I don't have anything to prove, so I think the easier method is just to hop on the old interwebs, find you a concrete calculator. Now, since I was using Quikrete already, I just used their calculator and entered my square footage, and it tells me exactly how many bags to get depending on what size I'm going to purchase. I was getting 50-pound bags, so it calculated 18 bags for a 4-inch slab. Now, my slab is more like 3.5 inches, but that gets you close enough. Plus, it's a good idea to get a little extra. I do think that they might already include the extra in the calculator because I actually only ended up needing about 16 bags for my pour. Before I could get to pouring concrete, I needed to trim my stakes level with the form. My Ryobi multi-tool made pretty quick work of this. Then thankfully, my dad showed up to lend me a hand with this concrete pour. We started by mixing up about 4 bags of concrete at a time. Then we would just take turns mixing while the other added water. Now, mixing concrete by hand is no easy task. For a concrete pour this size, it's definitely doable, but for anything bigger, renting or purchasing a cement mixer would probably be worth it. I let my dad take the lead on the amount of water needed for the first batch since he's done this before. The most important thing was just getting it all mixed in, especially the stuff at the bottom, and we didn't want it to be too dry because that would just make it harder to screed later. Another benefit of having 2 people when it comes to a concrete pour is you can have someone spreading out the concrete while the other shovels it in the form. This will just speed up things a little bit, which is a good thing because you don't want the concrete to set up on you before you're done pouring. After our first pour, I added in some of this metal mesh wiring to help strengthen up the concrete and hopefully keep it from cracking in the future. Then it was back to mixing up more concrete until we had our form completely filled. Then we decided to go ahead and get half of the form completely filled and then screed it, filling in any low spots with more concrete. Really? Really? I knew that was going to happen at some point, and I'm actually surprised that it only happened once. After rescuing Murph's ball, we mixed up our last batch of concrete and made sure to work it into all the areas within the form to get good, even coverage. Finally, we used our 2x4 to screed it a couple of times to get an even surface, then we left it alone for about 30 minutes to an hour to set up some. Once some of that sheen on the surface of the wet concrete was gone, I came in with a float and started smoothing out any of the imperfections. Now, I don't really need to get it perfect here because I do plan on using a brush finish for this slab. Then I use this little edging tool to go around each of my sides to give a little extra detail and sort of round over the edges some. Then all of a sudden, I decided that I thought it would be really cool to try and stamp Murphy's paw print in the concrete because, let's just say it went much smoother in my head. I had a hard time getting it just right, but we finally got something close enough that I can live with. Also, I gotta mention that I posted a video of all my failed attempts at this on my social media a few days ago, and someone made sure to inform me that I could have possibly put him in danger because cement apparently can burn. I was actually unaware of this at the time, so I looked it up. Seems like it is possible, however, most cases seem to be from long-term exposure. But with that said, let me just advise you to do something like this at your own risk. I washed his paws off thoroughly right after, and he is completely fine. Once I had his paw print stamped, I just worked on cleaning up all of the happy little accidents from before. Next, I took a push broom and I lightly ran it over the top of my slab. This just roughs the top up a bit, which gives a little bit more traction for walking on it, especially when it gets wet. This is why I didn't have to worry too much about floating it perfectly smooth. Once I was satisfied with my brush finish, I just went over the edges one more time to make sure they were smooth. Then it was time to leave it alone and let it dry. Now after a couple of hours, it had hardened up quite a bit, and I made sure to hose it down every couple of hours. Now it does seem kind of counterintuitive to water something you were trying to let dry, but this process is something called moist curing, and it basically just keeps the concrete from drying too fast and maintains the proper moisture levels, which can result in stronger concrete. So I'm sure I look like a lunatic, but I made sure to water my concrete slab a couple times a day for the next 7 days. After letting the slab dry for over 24 hours, I removed the screws from my form and started to disassemble it. One of my last steps was simply adding some dirt back into my hole surrounding my concrete slab. Alright, so I filled in most of my hole with the dirt that I took out of here, but I did go ahead and add a couple bags of topsoil on top of this, just because that clay soil that we have here is not very good at growing grass. So hopefully by adding this topsoil, I'll be able to throw some grass seed down, and then hopefully one day soon this will be grass again. And with that, this cement pad was now complete. All in all, this project took me about 2 days. However, I would say that it is possible to tackle it in one. I ended up spending somewhere between $150 to $200 in supplies for this 4 foot by 5 foot slab. For my first time pouring concrete, I'm really happy with how this thing turned out. I think it's going to be a nice landing spot for the stairs coming off of the deck. Alright guys, that's everything that I did to get this concrete slab here poured. Now this was actually the first time that I've ever worked with concrete before, and I know that concrete can be extremely intimidating at first, and trust me, I was there. That's probably why I haven't worked with concrete up to this point, but trust me when I say that I think that just about anyone could do this if they just took the time to do a little research beforehand and make sure that you have everything that you need going into something like a concrete pour. And you know, starting with something really small like this is a great way to kind of work your way into working with concrete. But I'm really happy with the way this thing turned out. It's definitely going to be a great landing spot for these stairs here, and so that's going to be the next thing that I work on. Now I do have a few takeaways from working with this concrete. The first just being, don't try to tackle this on your own. This is definitely a project that you want to get some help with. First of all, just carrying all of the heavy bags of cement. If you can just have someone help you with that, that's gonna help you out a lot. 50-pound bags, 80-pound bags, they do make I think 30-pound bags as well, but no matter what, if you're carrying like 20 of those or more, it's going to be a workout. Also, mixing the cement is a workout, so if you have someone to help you with that, that is going to cut down on the amount of work that you have to do and how tired you're going to get. And also the last thing, as far as just concrete is a very time-sensitive thing, so if you have some help, that's just going to help make sure that your pour is just going to go a little bit smoother. The second thing that I have learned working with concrete is just the mistake that I made, and don't dig your hole too deep, just because it's just going to be more work for you in the end trying to get it to the height that you need. So really only dig down enough for your form to set in where you want it, and then you'll be good. So the next step is now I just need to get some steps built from this deck that will land on this concrete pad here, and that is going to come out in my next video. So if you're at all interested in how I go about adding some steps off of this deck, then make sure you go ahead and get subscribed if you're not already. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on my next video. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you for my next video. Bye.